All right, readers, today we have another reading strategy for nonfiction. We're going to wrap up nonfiction this week before we dive into our new unit at the end of this week and into next week. So before we went away for spring break and when we were still together in class, we were reading nonfiction, we use so many different strategies. We use strategies to help us come up with the main idea and the supporting details. We use strategies to help us identify text features. We even did a strategy of how we read nonfiction books differently than we read fiction books. We have done a ton of work with nonfiction. So today's strategy is called Don't Skip It. Right. So when we are reading a nonfiction book, we come across a lot of different text features. We come across captions and headings and bold print and photographs and diagrams and maps, labels, all different kinds of things. And we as a nonfiction reader need to make sure that we don't skip it because the text features are going to give us a lot of information that we would miss if we skipped it. So if we're just reading the text in a nonfiction book and we're not looking at all the other things, we're missing out on a lot of information. So I have two examples of nonfiction books that have some text features. We're going to look at them together, and then I'm going to ask for you to go off on your own today, and I'm going to ask for you to read a nonfiction book either on RazKids, Get Epic, or one that you may have at home. And we want to try and find one that has some text features so that we can practice our don't skip it strategy. So this is a couple pages from a book about sharks. Right, we're going to take a look at all of the different text features here that we would not want to skip. So if I were to just read this page as it is and not read any of the text features, this is what it would sound like. Sharks are fish that live in seas and oceans across the world. Some sharks are tiny, others are giants, some are gentle, and some are fierce. Right, now, that's it. If I didn't look at anything else on this page, if I didn't look at the pictures, if I didn't look at the captions, if I didn't look at the labels, that's the only information that I would get. But now when I take a look at all of the other text features, I am going to gain so much more information about sharks. So the heading, right? I skipped that. What is a shark? So that is one of the most important things for us to read when we start a page is the heading. So we know what we're about to read. And then down here, I have a little caption to go along with this picture. Sharks don't have bones. Their skeletons are made from light, stretchy cartilage. This piece up here did not mention that at all. So that is information I would have missed if I skipped it. And then I have all these different labels: jaws, gills, fins, tail. Sharks breathe through slits called gills. So another caption and also these labels here are showing me the parts of a shark. If I didn't know anything about a shark and I just flipped the page and skipped these text features, I would miss out on being able to identify and know what the parts of a shark look like. And then over here, we've got pictures, photographs, and captions. These are hundreds of kinds of sharks. There are hundreds of kinds of sharks, and here are just 3 of them. This is called a wobbegong, and they hide on the ocean floor. They are well camouflaged. This is a dogfish, and it has a long, slim body to slip through water. And then we have angel sharks that have flat bodies, and they also hide on the ocean floor. If I skip these photographs and skip these captions, I would not have added to my schema 3 new different kinds of sharks that I may not have known about before. And then we have right here is a text box, or sometimes it's called a fast fact, and it says sharks have been living on Earth for 400 million years. They were around at the time of dinosaurs. If I skip that, that's another piece of information I would have missed. If I just read this piece right here, all I would know is that they are a fish. They live in oceans around the world. They come in different sizes, and some are fierce and some are not. By reading the rest of all of this page and paying attention to those text features, I have gained so much more information and details and facts about sharks. Let's take a look at another book and practice our strategy of don't skip it. All right, so this one is from a book about lions. It has a few less text features than the book before, but nonetheless, they are still important for us to pay attention to. So if I were to just read this book and just read the text and not read any of the features, it would sound like this. Most lions live on the savanna in Africa. It is very hot and dry there. Lions need to rest to stay cool. They lie in the shade. They also climb trees to find breeze. Okay, so I did gain a little bit more information. I know that they live in the savannah in Africa. I know that it's hot and dry there. I learned that they need to rest if they're going to stay cool. They like to stay in the shade and they're up in trees so that they can feel the breeze, right? But if I take a look at the text features, I'm going to learn a little bit more information. So my heading is called Lying Around. There's a little joke in that heading there. And then I have a map. A map is another type of text feature that I definitely want to pay attention to. This map is showing you all these yellow spots is where you can find lions. Right? All of these spots, all of this yellow in Africa is where you're going to find lions. Without this map, I would have no idea where lions live. I would have no idea what part of the world they live in or where in Africa they live, but this map helps me understand that. And then here I have one of the words, savanna. If I didn't know what the word savanna meant, I could go to this little definition box here. It says a grassy area with few trees that gets very little rain. So this text feature is kind of like a mini glossary that's helping me understand a word that I may not have seen before. All right, so for you for today and every day when you're reading nonfiction, I want for you to remember, don't skip it. Those text features are just as important and sometimes even more important than the text itself. So remember when you're reading to read from top to bottom, left to right. Don't skip anything on that page because it's going to help you become a better reader and help you know more about your topic. So go head off, find yourself a nonfiction book, and I want for you to practice our strategy. Don't skip it.